Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Avernum 4. Last episode we found our way through the tunnels underneath Almaria, and now we have finally made it to the castle itself. Oh, there is much that is going to be done down in here, and it looks like there's someone here who can tell us something. So, let's speak with him. You try to speak with the official holding the clipboard. He looks at your face, cross-references you with a description on a slip of paper, and hushes you before you can speak a word. You can go in. News of your arrival preceded you. You need to see Advisor Houghton. His office is due south from here. You try to ask a question, and the official hushes you again. Do you know how many people have been trying for weeks to see Houghton? Take advantage of your luck while you have it. Go, go! Okay. Busy, busy. The castle guards are huge, simple-minded folks selected for their ability to courageously and mindlessly destroy anyone and anything that even thinks about threatening the rulers of Avernum. Needless to say, they aren't good conversation. An official walks by you, muttering quietly to herself. She probably traveled a long distance to be here, probably to ask for help for her town or settlement. These days, such help will probably be long in coming. This large stone courtyard was built for military presentations, large celebrations, and similar excitement. There is a reviewing platform by the west wall for the use of the royalty and close advisors. The courtyard is quiet now, and moss is starting to invade. The soldiers that would present themselves here are probably off fighting monsters and keeping order. An immaculately dressed merchant walks by you, lost in thought. He probably came here to try to sell his wares to the government. The royal coffers are a delicious target for every sensible merchant in Avernum, and the surface world, too. Royal Chambers southeast, main ballroom feast hall southwest. Court Wizard Records Halls northwest, guest quarters west, main ballroom feast hall southwest. Well, we'll take a look in there in a bit. I'm just going to do a quick run all around this place. Stairways up. We're not going to deal with that right now. More stairways up. That kind of leads to a dead end. Okay. All the way around, and we'll take a look in the other direction. Oh, what's this? Old records. Probably used for something, so I'll take it. Throne room. Can't go into the throne room. I suppose it kind of makes a bit of sense. Barracks mess. Okay. Not going in there. Yet. Well, I suppose now we can. Nothing there. Training hall. Not really anyone in here, is there? Oh. Oh, job board. The Great Cave has had difficulties with bandits recently. 2 bands of raiders have been spotted near the south wall of the Great Cave. These reprobates are led by Absinthe and Randolph Halfbreed. Any adventurer who can kill these 2 bandits and report the feat to General Maripova will receive a considerable bounty. Corellia, a wizard in the castle, requires supplies to make investigations of a delicate and secret nature. The adventurer who can fulfill her needs will receive an appropriately magical reward. Corellia needs a swamp module, an icy geode, and a fragment of glowing basalt. Okay, we'll need to step away to grab a swamp nodule, but I knew we needed one more of each of those. In the recent troubles, it has been very difficult to keep watch on the Abyss. Intelligence in this treacherous area has been inadequate. Levitt, Master of Intelligence at the castle, wishes up-to-date reports from the Abyss settlements of Spire and Varga. Payment for information about the current state of these settlements will be generous. Gladly. Another stairway up. Ah. You meet one of Avernum's generals, splendid in her polished steel breastplate, complete with insignia. Her halberd sits on the table at the other end of the room. The weapon is short and heavy, like its owner. She sighs with irritation when you enter. Oh, what new waste of time afflicts General Maripova. What is this, an adventurer here to pester me? Leave me be, I have not true soldiers to command. I'd like to know something about the army. Yes, the army is Maripova's business. An army with discipline, who follows orders and marches in formation, not undisciplined adventurers running all over the place. Adventurers have value, it is true, but holding ground, keeping order, this is the job for a hard-working army. Any interesting news from court? Her voice gets quite loud. Court? Pah! People come from all over to pester the crown for favors, for advancement. It is not my concern. I lead, I fight. That is what Marapova does. I have talked enough with you. Go. Okay then. Fine. Let me take a look over here. Throne room. Can't enter the throne room. Okay, let's take a look down here. You enter a small, out-of-the-way hallway and find that it is bustling with activity. Courtiers line the walls, jostling each other with their elbows and trying to gain entry to the room to the north. Two enormous guards flank the entryway, turning back potential invaders with firm words and the occasional beating. When you enter the room, one of the guards notices you. He shouts, "You! Houghton wants you! Get in here!" The courtiers seethe with envy when they see you getting this treatment. Okay then. This is a large, luxurious office with expensive hardwood flooring, wood brought from the surface, of course, and racks of scrolls lining the walls. The decor is meant to clearly convey great importance. The old man in the room needs no such trappings to be impressive. He is tall and thin, and his eyes blaze with intelligence and impatience. His gaze fixes on you the moment you enter, seemingly picking you apart and cataloging you. After a few moments of staring, he waves you in. Yes, yes, the ones with the bark and the crystal. Someone thought that this merited a bit of my time. I am Advisor Houghton, Chief Assistant to His Majesty, and my time is priceless. He asks to see the mark on your hand. After peering at it, he says, So come on, this precious crystal. Let's see it. I am sparing you a minute. Don't waste it. All right then, this is what we came for. You take the crystal and set it gingerly on his desk. Behind you, the guards wait anxiously, watching for a trap. At first, nothing happens. You get nervous. Houghton seethes with impatience. And then you hear it. The whispering. It grows louder. For the first time, you can hear it even when you aren't close to the stone. And then something appears. A tiny, translucent figure appears above the crystal. It looks like the tiny shade of a Venati. The creature is speaking, and the whispering sound comes from its mouth. At last, the sound becomes loud enough to be audible. This crystal is attuned to the location of the castle. It is there. The message can be delivered. The Venati are sending an envoy to the castle. There is a great upheaval, and we must consult with you to determine how best to correct the situation. Please await our envoy and greet him with all diplomatic consideration. Then the shade repeats the message, and repeats it again, and again. It starts to grow irritating. Houghton has a guard take the crystal away. Well, it seems that you might be valuable after all. Valuable? Oh yes, far more so than these courtier parasites. This message seems significant even if it was conveyed with typical infuriating Venati vagueness. An envoy indeed. Well, don't just stand there. Come in. Sit. I would speak with you further. You are chosen by the Venati. That seems to be very useful. Come in. Gladly. Now let us speak. I know you are more significant at the moment than the standard parasite, but please make this quick. There is still very much to do. Much you can do for Avernum. You are an advisor to the king? I am the primary advisor to the king, and King Micah before him. I have been in the castle since I was a young man, and that was a very long time ago. What were you before you were an advisor? In the beginning, though I laugh to think of it, I was a warrior, then a courtier. But unlike the other parasites, I learned how to make myself useful, and how to keep this place running. You advised King Micah? To the extent he needed it, which wasn't much. Oh, but he was a great man, and he sired late in life a great son. There is much potential in young Starus. He just requires guiding while he learns the true uses of power. Were you here during the war with the Empire? Oh, long before that. I was first stationed here even before the war with Sistis and his army of barbarians of Serakai. This was decades before you were born. And that was mere months after my insolence and big mouth got me thrown down into Avernum. The vast majority of my time in Avernum has been in these glorious halls. Is it possible for me to see the king? You want to see the king. The parasites outside want to see the king. Everyone wants to see the king. Nobody ever wants poor Houghton. Well, no, you can't see the king. I am employed specifically to keep you away, so that he can focus completely on the problems facing Avernum. Who are the parasites? The courtiers, the politicians, the merchants looking for handouts. Avernum becoming a real country with relations to the Empire has been a good thing in its way. But it has drawn all the parasites, bottom feeders, and rich people looking for handouts that are attracted to all places of power. King Staros can't see people and focus at the same time. Staros is wise and energetic, but he is young. Until he has gained enough experience, he has chosen me to help him with lesser matters. Of course, this opens me to accusations. Accusations? That I am controlling the king's mind, holding him prisoner. Such nonsense. The jealous babbling of petty and greedy men. Pay it no mind. Okay. What can I do for Avernum? Well, as the Shard told us and keeps telling us, the Venati are sending an envoy. But that could be a Venati or a Drake or a bigger talking rock. Who knows what they are sending or what it has to say. But I have received interesting reports. A merchant, a crystal gatherer, claims that he saw a Venati in the Sulphurous Flats, between Almaria and the Tower Colony. You seem to have an affinity for these creatures. Go, investigate, see if you can find this envoy. Or some other message. Any hints on where I should look? Well, the Sulphurous Flats are a huge hot field of volcanic rock not far east of Almaria. Not hard to miss. The crystal hunter said he saw the creature in the southwest corner of the cavern. Honestly, I think it was probably just a slith or nephil, but it is worth investigating. How can I get through Almaria to get there? I imagine you should do what you did before, but in reverse. We have plans for Almaria, but we aren't ready to carry them out yet. We'll do it shortly. Can I get more supplies or training? Oh, I don't know. I imagine you can. Go look around. Don't bother me with this trivia. Don't make me think of you as another parasite. I have met bandits with letters bearing a strange symbol, an inverted crown. Oh, that nonsense. Levitt is convinced it is some broad conspiracy, but seeing things is his job. I think it's just a random group of thugs with delusions of grandeur. But if there is something you know, you should talk to Levitt. His offices are in one of the upper towers. Not sure which one. He keeps moving. Do you know anything about the Shades in the cities? Well, I know a lot about how they behave and what they do, but I am not directly working on defeating them. Corellia is in charge of that. She is one of Roan's assistants. And I have been to the lair you described, and I made contact with the Venati. It called itself Rentar Irno. I suspected it! Damn her! Damn that crazy freak witch! With her arrogance and her endless blood debts! Oh, she will not escape this time, I will make sure of that. As you have news for me, I have news for you. While you were on the way here, our raid has succeeded in breaching the gates of Almaria. They are open now, and we learned something valuable. It relates to our next task for you. Rentar Irno said that a lot of Avernite soldiers were about to be killed. Do you know anything about that? Houghton stares at the top of his desk and shakes his head. I cannot tell you anything about that. It is... You don't need to know about everything that has been happening, and you do not want to know. Okay. How can I help Avernum now? Well, it turns out the Venati did indeed send us an envoy, and then our agents in Almaria learned what happened to him. He got disoriented, went to the Almaria gates, and those crazy pit dwellers locked him up. So your next mission is simple, straightforward, and involves shouting. Go see the mayor of Almaria, get him to free the Venati, and make sure he gets back here safely. Normally I'd send a dozen soldiers, or 100, but the Venati seem comfortable with you for whatever reason, so I picked you for this job. So we're going to be going into Almaria. Fantastic. And yelling for the Venati. Even more fantastic. We'll be doing that later on. For now, we gotta do more here. This huge chamber is the castle's ballroom. It also serves as a feasting hall for times of great celebration. Right now, it is cold and dark. Looks like court officials quietly take their meals at tables along the walls, but there are no signs of potential festivities. Entirely appropriate, you think, in a time of war and crisis. The castle has a number of servants who work extremely hard to cook good food and keep everything clean. Their extensive training prevents them from talking to important visitors. They just look down and keep about their business. Fair enough. We'll be looking upstairs sometime later. Can't go in there. Here we can go into, but there's nothing there. In here... a couple things we can take. Once we close the door. I said close the door. Yeah, they're all worth some money. And here we have another room. Halls of Records, Court Magician. Excuse me. Let's go to the Halls of Records first. Excuse me again. This is the Hall of Records for the castle, where paperwork having to do with Avernum's administration has been stored for years and years. Now that Avernum is corresponding with the Empire, the quantity has only increased. The undisputed mistress of record-keeping is this tiny old woman in dusty clothes. Though she is thin and pale and has lived in Avernum for many years, life in the castle tends to keep one safe and help one live to a ripe old age. She smiles when you enter. Ah, young adventurers, so full of life and energy. I'm so happy when they visit. I'm Gilda. Have some tea. Looks like a lot of paperwork. Oh yes, the Avennites have always been a literate people, and King Micah did his best to keep everything organized and documented. And of course, the necessary record-keeping has grown by leaps and bounds recently. Why so much more paperwork now? Because of the power of the Empire's bureaucracy, any dealings with them must be recorded in quadruplicate. The papyrus alone is ruinously expensive. Are all of the records of Avernum here? No, just the last 20 years or so. Anything older is taken out and placed in a special storage pit. Any interesting news about the court? I try not to think about all that business, though I do know that young King Starus is very tired lately, poor dear. And Advisor Houghton has taken on much of the responsibility, and it's very hard to see. Is King Starus up to the task? Oh, even if I thought he wasn't, I would hardly be rude and foolish enough to say so, but I think he is. He is young, and it is a hard road, but I hear he is managing all right. What do you think of Houghton? Not sure. Hardly anyone can get in to see him, far too busy. It is a great aggravation to the court. How can they beg for favors when they can't reach the person they need to beg from? You like adventurers? Oh yes. Sometimes I need to send someone out to fetch records for me, and you dears can be most helpful. For payment, of course, but you need to eat. And are you looking for anything now? Oh, I almost always am. The merchant Liaison in Almaria borrowed an old accounts ledger, month of sun time, 8 years back, and he hasn't returned it. And you know how hard it is to get anything from Almaria these days. If you should happen to turn up in their records, I would be most grateful if you brought it to me. I suppose maybe I didn't need these old records then. We will be in Almaria soon enough, and when we are, we will speak with him about it. The Court Magician. Roan opens the letter, reads it, and shakes his head. It warns me about the presence of the sea monsters. Old news, I'm afraid. Still, I appreciate the service. He gives you a scroll as a rather generous reward. This man is old. Impossibly old. He looks like he is withering away on the bone. It's difficult to spot any bits of actual human in among the bulky wizard's robes he wears. He peers out of his hood at you with sharp, bloodshot eyes. Something about his mood is tired and resigned, as if he's seen all this before and will see it all again. I am Roan, court wizard of the castle for these many years, trainer and guide. Houghton said that I am to assist you, and so I shall. How long have you served here? Served here? Helped to build this place, and then I never left. I'm not dead, despite what you might have heard, and I will hold on as long as I can. How have you lived so long? Clean living and magic. We wizards can sustain our lives for a long time. The price is withering away, and pain. But it is the price that many of us old wizards have paid to serve Avernum. How long will you stay alive for? As long as Avernum needs me. No pain is too great to withstand my homeland. I might have heard that you were dead? Once, some years ago, they heard in Upper Avernum I was dead. Letters took a long time to travel back then, and they'd had a memorial for me and put up a stone in my honor before they learned of their mistake. They didn't take the stone down because they thought I'd be dead soon. I bet it's up there still. Roan wanders around his laboratory. He doesn't appear to be engaged in any experiments at the moment. He simply stares at things and ponders. Maybe after all of these years of wizardry, all of his experiments take place entirely in his mind. Can you teach me spells? He can. May as well. Probably spent a bit too much there. What are you working on at the moment? Many projects, so much to do. The repair of the surface portal, the destruction of the shades, and of the sea monsters, just for starters. When will the surface portal be repaired? My agents have arrived and inspected the portal and gotten to work, but we will not repair it until we are sure it will not be sabotaged again. What do you know about the shades? My assistant, Corellia. Young and brilliant. She is working on it upstairs. What do we know about the sea monsters? Frustratingly little. We know where they came from, based on report. The first monsters came from the rivers in the northwest, but I do not think we can defeat them until we defeat their master. Okay, then. Do you know how I might see the king? No, you should, I think, but it is not my area, it is Hoten's. The king is young, but he has talent. Hoten is a good man, but he takes too many tasks. That is my opinion, for what little it is worth. Very well, then. Touch. And I'll not go in there right now. You know what, I'm just going to take a quick trip up to Fort Dranlon off-screen in order to grab the thing I need. Huh. I stumbled across something I never saw before. You find the body of an unlucky adventurer who appears to have fallen to a chitwrack, or many of them. Most of his equipment has been taken by the chitwracks to line their nests, but you do find a stained piece of paper nearby. It is a letter of introduction addressed to someone named Giscard, naming this adventurer as looking for work. Giscard is described as living not far west of Formello. You take the letter. It might be useful. I think I remember that guy. We'll have to check him later on, after we deal with the stuff we're dealing with now. Alright, I'll be back shortly. Oh wait, there it is. Just what we needed. Alright, now we can head back to the castle. Alright, that's everything here, so let's start by going upstairs here. Corellia is actually the one who needed these. Corellia takes the stones and inspects them. Yes, just what I needed. In return, she presents you with a rod of polished hardwood. Fully charged. This woman is quite young to wear the robes of a wizard, and quite lovely. She escaped her apprentice years without even a small disfiguring accident. She is working hard with her flasks and beakers, making concoctions, doing tests, occasionally sipping something and taking lots of notes. It's hard work, but she has to struggle to purl herself away to speak with you. The adventurer! The one with the Monatai mark. May I see it, please? You show it to her. Remarkable, beautiful work. The Venatai are masters of magic, really. I am Corellia, and I am very glad you came to see me. I am doing research on the shades, and I've been looking for volunteers to help. Can you give me training? I'm afraid Roan does most of the training. He keeps me busy with my research. Though you know the castle has an excellent magical library. If you help me in my work, perhaps I can find a way to get you access. How long have you been a wizard? Not long. Not as long as most. I studied at the Tower Colony, and I showed a knack, I guess. Though I do have my limits. What is your knack for? Magic. Most people cannot master magic. They can't even cast the smallest spell, no matter how hard they try. And some people like me just take to it. Magic flows from us, whether we like it or not. Nobody knows what makes one person one way and one person another. It's a great mystery, I guess. What are your limits? I am a researcher. I gain knowledge and I expand it. I am not a warrior. I've never been in battle, and I don't think I would do well if I were. Still, everyone has a purpose. Corellia is still hard at work. However, despite her obvious skill and power, she seems quite impressed by you. She occasionally asks you questions about your adventures and places you've seen, and monsters you've fought. What are you researching? Roan has put me in charge of the shade problems. The 3 shades in the cities, I mean. One to the far northeast, one to the east, and one to the west. They are strangling the cities, and it cannot be tolerated. But being near the shades is dangerous even for one of my skill, and that is why Roan told me to find adventurers for help with my research. Perhaps I can help. What can I do? You can give me something to work with, something to actually analyze. I want to see what these creatures are made of, what sort of construct they are. She takes a crystal vial from her pouch and hands it to you. It is covered with small, delicate runes. I want you to go west to Bloston Darman, find the shade there, chop off a bit of it, and store it in the vial I gave you. Don't try to kill the shade, I doubt you will be able to. Just hit it enough to whack a bit off, grab it, and run. I can use it to try to learn exactly what these creatures are. We'll try just that, eventually. Of course. Well, someone's got to do that kind of stuff. May as well be us, I suppose. Huh. Let's see. Another fine robe we can sell. Okay, I suppose that all makes sense. Moving on. That's locked. That's locked. Observation chamber. What is this, I wonder? Alright, let's see what this is. Does not say anything. Probably for something we'll discover later on. Another servant. What else are we looking at? Royal Chambers. Okay. Alright, so we've got that. There's still those two down there. Okay. I think we can go take care of this particular location next. Just a couple servants there. The fine clothes of the castle nobles are laundered here. Okay. Alright, let's head around this way. Up into this area. Looks like this is basically the upper level that allows us to look around the outside. Nothing too special, I suppose. In fact, we can't even go any further. Okay, then. Still a couple of stairways. Can't go over there, so... northeast corner. Start over here, then. Did you hear something? Can't be picked. Can't be picked. Nothing in there. That's just a Blade Master. Let me take a look around up here first. That's the other stairway. Nothing over there. Must be this way. Intelligence. Ah! This dark and musty tower is full of shackles, ropes, and a large iron cage. Avernum has its share of criminals, petty and worse, and a lot of those who get caught end up here. There's a small man sitting behind the desk reviewing arrest records. Even to an experienced warrior like you, there is something deeply worrying about him, an air of disinterest in any sort of human contact.
Greetings to you. I am Levitt, the intelligence officer. You don't appear to have any prisoners for questioning. I don't think there is anything I can do for you.
You question prisoners?
That is my purpose, yes. I extract what information is needed before the prisoner is dispatched, either to their final reward or to the abyss.
How do you extract the information?
With means appropriate to the severity of the accused's crime and to the need for the information.
And he doesn't seem inclined to elaborate beyond that. Their final reward?
Imprisonment is expensive and difficult. It is a privilege not extended to traitors, murderers, and the like. Such people are given the choice between beheading and hanging at the end of a rope. High-quality rope, of course, brought from the surface for just such a purpose.
Well, at least the rope is high quality. What is the abyss?
It is a large settled cavern to the northwest of the Great Cave, separated from Avernum by the Spire Fort. It is where petty criminals are sent to bother each other and not us. Yes, the abyss. I know it well.
Why do you know the abyss so well?
Because I lived there once. I was captured and brought here for questioning about long-forgotten matters. It was then that I saw that the abyss was small and weak and Avernum is big and strong. So I offered my unique services to the castle, and the offer was accepted.
How many settlements are in the abyss?
2 that I know of. Spire to the south and Barga to the north, full of rogues, cut purses, and the like, though they do not generally attack Avernites on sight.
Are you looking... Levitt watches you silently from behind his desk. The intelligence officer seems unhappy to have anyone in his office that isn't shackled. Are you looking for adventurers?
I am not currently looking to employ any on your line.
I found a letter with some bandits. Several times. It had a strange symbol and inverted crown. Do you know anything about it? You suddenly have the intelligence agent's undivided attention.
You made contact with them? With the dark side loyalists? Very interesting. You know I might have employment for you if you are looking.
Who are the dark side loyalists?
I do not know. It is most frustrating. Some months ago I began to receive reports. Brigand raids, assassinations, disruptions in calm areas. All well before the current troubles began. I was only able to find one clue to the puzzle. An intercepted letter instructing a band of thugs to attack a homestead. It had the symbol of an inverted crown on it and a phrase, the dark side loyalists.
What has been done about them so far?
Nothing. I was not able to get anyone to share my concern. I was given permission to investigate, but no resources.
Dark side loyalists, what does that mean?
I wish I could tell you.
I believe that their leader's name is Doricus.
Really, Doricus. Very valuable. Thank you.
What would you like me to do?
I would like you to help me root out these malcontents, these traitors to Avernum. Find them and exterminate them like the vermin they are. I can't get any troops to help me, but I can pay adventurers. I currently have only one lead besides what you have told me. Someone I questioned said that he thought one of the Darkside Loyalist agents was in the Fisher Post. It is an inn southwest of here. It is likely a waste of time. Even if such an agent was there, he is sure to be gone. But some clue might have been left behind.
All right then. We'll deal with that eventually. That said, I'm pretty sure we've explored everywhere we can down in here. Don't have any more quests here, so... Does he have anything new? No. Well then, that is the end of that. The next quest we have, open up the gates of Elmaria, which I think we will do in the very next episode. Then after that, take care of the quest we found that has to go up to Formello. Should be easy. Then, after we do that, we'll start slowly making our way west. Check out Fort Emerald, Nass, Patrick's Tower, and then Blosk and Darman. And then eventually Fort Remote and Fort Saffron, and then up into here, and you know how I go with things. But first up will be Almaria, and that'll be in the next episode. So until then, I am Chester44, that is Nova, Lyran, John, and Pyrrha. This has been an Avernum 4 Let's Play, and I shall see you all next time.